Hello, everybody. Yes, I don't usually lead off with my face. Possibly a bad idea. I have made some changes for today's presentation. For those of you who are interested, there is a slight adjustment and a new slide which I put together at the very last minute. Would you believe it? Anyway, we're going to be getting into writing, creating your own adventures, and being practical about that process. I've had discussions with people and been doing a lot of it with you online, and it's become more and more obvious that I needed to update this. So I have updated it. I'll put up a poll. Feel free to take part in that poll. Hello, Fred Huber, and hello, Jasper. Yes, Jasper, you are a big part of my adjustments to this. If you were wondering, grab some food, some drink, be prepared. I have a slideshow for you. And today we are also going to be dealing with protection quests. We're going to be doing some protection quest stuff. So for those of you who like that idea, great, but make sure that food and drink is ready. I have my slideshow pretty much ready to go. And let's rock on into this, and then we'll go back to the live stream after the slideshow. Okay, I'm ready. You're ready. Let's fire away. Hi, welcome to How to RPG. My name is Fred Weller, and today I want to talk about how you go about writing, creating, making your own practical adventures. Right, how do you do that? Now, this is part of Game Master Preparation, Lesson 1, Adventure Building. Now, I've run this a few times, and I am updating it constantly. So what is the overview for today? Well, types of adventures. We'll look at the types of quests you can run, the basic adventure building process, and some layout stuff, which you may not see written here, but it is there, trust me. And then, of course, miscellaneous recommendations, as always. My objectives is to explain how to build an adventure for a role-playing game. I'm not going to be demonstrating that process because we were doing that yesterday, and we do that every single week. It's specifically got its own programmed time on my channel, and that time is probably, that program's never going to stop. I'll keep going and going and going. So I'm going to get you to do some practice, though, around building and creating some quests, because there's quests that drive adventure, right? Okay, so let's talk about the types of adventures that you can run in your game and how they might look. The first off, I'm going to say there's a couple of different versions. There's the one that's very broad and the one that's very narrow. So sandbox or hex crawl adventures is where the characters start in a set location, but then they can venture out to any new location or place that they would like to explore. They can go north, south, east, west, and anything in between. I've said this before. Then it's the linear adventure, where you have a character or characters starting at a beginning location or a beginning place, and they follow a set path to a climax in the story, and it has a very strong plot line. I'll make it clear now for those of you who are wondering, aha, sandbox and hex crawls do not have a plot line. That's not true. They'll have an overall goal which can become a plot line, but the plot is derived, it's a procedural one, and it's created by the players, not by the game master or the adventure itself. Next, we have point crawl adventures. It is built from what are considered to be important, significant, or meaningful locations that are vital for that adventure, connected by multiple in-world pathways. It's like a branching tree. Okay, that's what you're sort of looking at. There's also a combination, because most adventures tend to be a combination of these things. They'll be a combination of the three basics, which is your sandbox, your linear, and your point crawl. Okay? And they each have their own purpose. Neither one of these is actually a bad thing. They just have a specific purpose to them. That's it. Then we have to break it down into location-based adventures and event-based adventures. So location-based adventures don't have a set plot or events that take place in a particular order. A location-based adventure is where the environment has a villain or a potential conflict or threat that the player characters get to interact with in some way. It is normal practice, even with a location-based adventure, which is usually a sandbox or a hex crawl or something like that. It is quite normal for that kind of location-based adventure, okay, to have a single overarching or overall goal for the location-based adventure. There's something that you need to do there. Of course, you don't have to. If the players don't want to do it, they won't do it. But there is something that you could do, okay? The last one is event-based adventures. These are often set out in a flow chart. They don't have to be a linear adventure. They don't have to be a single path. They can have branches and options, but they usually have a starting point, okay? An event-based adventure has a really strong underlying plot with additional subplots that you can take if you want to. Time frames are really important with an event-based adventure. It's important to map out the various events that will occur at certain times, because your player characters will not necessarily be in the right place at the right time to intervene. The event-based adventure is far more difficult to actually run successfully without it going off and being sabotaged by your players. A location-based adventure is significantly easier. Another thing too, you'll find that most published adventures tend to be nowadays, you'll see a lot of event-based adventures because there's a strong desire to have event-based adventures. But ultimately, location-based adventures fit in with all the individual groups far better. You can actually overlay a campaign that you're already running with a location-based adventure, particularly if it's quite small and it's a small subset rather than a great, huge, vast, hard textbook. Okay, so that's my spiel on how those work. Now, each one of these things are important because you can overlay event-based concepts over a location-based adventure. What is very difficult to do is overlay a location-based adventure over an event-based adventure. It doesn't quite go it doesn't work quite the same way. Anyway, let's get on to the next topic. Types of quests. I've talked about them before. I'm going to talk about them again. I'm going to be as swift as I can. We've actually built a few of these as we've worked through them. We're getting more and more options, more lists. So the first one is your fetch quest. And this is where the characters have to get something from another location that is potentially a long way away. And the fetch quest, whatever they're going to get in fetch, whatever they're going to go and get, is not for them. It's for somebody else. That's the thing to remember. It's a fetch quest and you're getting something for somebody else. Now, a good example is Avengers Endgame, okay, where you collect up all of the Affinity Stones, put it into a gauntlet for really the benefit of somebody else rather than yourself. Although it's a little bit mixed with that story because there is some benefits to the people involved. But it's an overall benefit to everybody. So there's an example of a fetch quest. Delivery quests are where characters are in possession of an object or a person. They might have a piece of information and they must deliver it to a specific location. So that's the delivery quest. You are a postman, post person, okay? Post woman. This is like Lord of the Rings, where you take the one ring and you have to take it to Mount Doom. That's your delivery quest. We have the protection quest, where you have characters escorting a person or people safely to a second location, potentially, but also you might be protecting them in the current location where you are. Protection quests can also be around protecting an item, an object, or even information. Now, good examples of this is The Bodyguard with Kevin Costner and Whitney Houston, and The Seven Samurai. For those of you who know, The Seven Samurai are protecting a village from bandits. So pretty simple, pretty basic. There's your protection. We're going to be doing protection quests today. We're going to go through. I've already got some prepared. Next, destroy quests or kill quests. Now, you could separate these, but I'm not going to. This is where the characters are required to go on, say, a monster hunt or a creature hunt, kill a monster, vanquish a main villain, or break an object or something like that. It's really, or even break an environment. Now, good examples of destroy quests and kill quests is Star Wars, where you have to essentially kill the Emperor or Darth Vader, or you have to destroy the Death Star. Okay, that's a good example of that sort of thing. Investigation quests get characters to find new information or investigate some sort of mystery or solve a crime or solve a problem. Okay, investigation quests, best example I can think of is Sherlock Holmes, who who's trying to solve problems and crimes by looking at the clues that he can find along the way, put it all together and figure out what happened and find out who was responsible. So there's your investigation quest. Your negotiation quest requires characters to deceive or persuade someone, and it often involves diplomacy, some sort of subterfuge, or even trade. So when it comes to negotiation quests, Star Trek is probably the one that I would suggest, where you're negotiating with aliens, okay, so you can have a better relationship with each other. That's essentially it. Survival quests, these force characters to endure a dangerous situation. They have to get out of that situation. They have to deal with a natural disaster. They are being hunted by something. An army is on a war path after them, maybe. Or they're in a prison. And good examples of survival quests are Alien, where the alien rips through the spacecraft, trying to kill all of the crew. So there's a good example. And then you have the Terminator, where you're trying to survive. You know, Sarah Connor's trying to survive, and Reese is helping her. Blah 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 blah. The idea is not to get killed. Okay, it's a survival quest. That's what you're dealing with. Now, the great thing about a survival quest is because it focuses directly on the characters and not somebody else, it's very hard to say no to it. You watch a player try to figure out how to say no to, I don't want to survive that situation, when you just drop it on them. So if you want engagement by your players, you're definitely going to get it with a survival quest. Next, attainment quests, which look very much like a fetch quest, but they're not. The last one, attainment quests, have characters seeking some sort of treasure, like an object or a person, but it could be other things like political power or position, land, a castle, and it's for their own benefit. Whatever they're trying to attain, it's for their benefit, not for somebody else's benefit. Okay? Now, this could be demonstrated by Moana or Finding Nemo, where the daddy fish has to go find Nemo, the little kitty fish or baby fish. Okay, there's an example of that there. So those are the different types of quests that you can have, but that doesn't solve the problem of writing the adventure or constructing your adventure. Whether you're doing it, you know, just for your own use or for publication, I will make it clear that none of this here that I'm giving you is designed necessarily to be professional writing for published adventures. Although I frankly think you'll find that you'll be able to do this without talking to a professional publisher, because quite often professional publishers make really shitty adventures anyway. So, but this is just really for you and what you need, okay? So the best approach to building an adventure or writing an adventure that I've ever come across that's nice and practical is the approach that I saw presented by Chris Perkins many years ago. Now, this is not how he writes his professional adventures. This is how he writes his own adventures. Would you believe it? And this article is still floating around. You could probably find it. And what he does is he takes his adventure notes are on a single piece of A4 paper, okay, with 7 headings, with bullet points under this. Okay, you can bullet point it, and it's always a nice way. So what is it broken up into? First off, your adventure title or designation to differentiate this session notes from the last session notes. So if this is session 3, then you'll mark it as session 3. If it actually is the start of an adventure, maybe you'll have an adventure title. Next, you need to have your adventure hook, your adventure goal, or the adventure recap. What happened last time? Okay, and this will be 3 or 4 sentences. It's not very big. This gives you a basic idea of what's going to be potentially driving the players forward. Now, recapping the last adventure is usually to have a goal or a hook tied into it. It gives you an idea of what the player characters are trying to achieve based off what happened last time. Now, you can find a lot of adventure goals and ideas in various Dungeon Master guides. The Game Mastery Guide for Pathfinder First Ed Edition has got a good bunch of ideas there. Even the Dungeon Master Guide for D&D 5e does, and you'll find most guides do. And if they don't, you don't want to use that book. It's probably not a very good book. But I would suggest that those ones do actually have what you're looking for. Next, you list out your player characters, their names, their class, what race they are, their flaw, and a goal. And you try to put that into one sentence. So you get rid of all the filler words and you make it's a note form. It's a shorthand, okay? You've got to remember that the most important individuals in the adventure are your player characters, okay, and what they're playing, not anything else. So if you're trying to build around them, you need to have that information there in front of you. This reminds you as a game master who the important characters are and the information about them, so you're not like, hey, Jeff, what's the name of your character again? What class are they? Oh, what race are they? Oh, you're a goblin and you're going into town. You need to know that sort of stuff, okay? Create some adventure locations. Now, adventure locations can be quite broad. They could be big locations that you then have to break down into smaller pieces, or they might be smaller blocks, or just, it might be just something like a room, and you fit all these, 5 or 6 rooms together to make your adventure, okay? Now, I'm not suggesting that you always have to make your adventures on the 5-room dungeon at all, but I always suggest to people that about 5 locations is what you'll get through in a sort of a relatively normal session running from about 2 or 3 hours, okay? If you're running longer, then you'll need to prepare more, but this is probably enough for now. So what do you need? Well, you're probably going to need a town, or you could have a city or a tavern. Often this is a common place that we wind up venturing to when we're dealing with fantasy. Now, if you're playing in a science fiction world, it's going to look a little bit different. So what location information do you need? And you keep this very basic. You need the name and the basic description of the location, at least. Those are the things you really need, okay? Is it the laundry? Okay, there is a washing machine here with dirty laundry and baskets. There's your description, 1 sentence. Maybe your description is, it's a town called Helensville, and it's small, it has got a few roads, and a lot of residential housing, and a lot of businesses going out of business. That's my own hometown there, in a nutshell. Okay, so what can you include? You can have dungeons, you can have a planar environment, you can have an urban setting, you could have a water-based location, like an island or a reef. You could have a wilderness. You can use all sorts of things, okay? There's lots of toolboxes out there. I recommend the Game Mastery Guide for Pathfinder 1st Ed Edition, not 2nd Ed Edition. That book sucks with regard to this aspect, okay? It's not a good book. But Dungeon Master Guide, D&D 5e, I would say even to a certain extent 4e. I don't know very much about the version 3.5, but I would say that you would find a good portion of stuff that you need also in the 1st edition AD&D Dungeon Master Guide. Okay, plenty of stuff there. Try using a pre-made map if you can. Okay, if you can't, then create the map yourself or artificially generate it. Use a map generator. Okay, if you need a map, because quite often that helps with your location. You can use real-world historic locations as your map or inspiration, and maybe just trace over it, or maybe just use it as it is. It doesn't really matter. But have some sort of map. And I always say that the map itself is probably a separate page. You're going to have a page for that. So it's not just one A4 page for the adventure. No, you've probably got 2. One is the map and one is the information about the map. Okay? All right. Next, make a list of 5 non-player characters that you need to go with. Now, the things that you're normally going to need are the name of the character, okay, the appearance, personality, motivation. If you get those, you've got most of what you need. The different types of non-player characters that you will need in your adventure tend to run into a villain who is the bad guy, okay? A patron or a quest giver. Not always necessary, but quite often it's quite common to have that. You might have a victim. You might have a helper. Quite often it's good to ensure you have somebody to help if the players get lost. Now, an extension of the helper is the mentor. Okay, the mentor will keep recurring, not just in this adventure, but in future adventures. So if you decide to have a mentor rather than just a one-off helper, that's fine. Now, the rest of your NPCs are extra cast. They are extras in your in your little adventure that you're going to run. You'll use them for shopkeepers and strangers they come across or whatever else. Now, the Game Mastery Guide, the Game Master's Book of Non-Player Characters is probably the best resource I've ever seen for this sort of thing. But also the Game Mastery Guide for Pathfinder First Edition has got a decent amount of stuff. I highly recommend the Player's Handbook for D&D 5e in the background section for building non-player characters. I've talked about this before. I think it's a very useful tool. It has everything that you really need. You don't have to worry too much about it, figuring it out. You can just roll it all up if you need to. Create your non-player characters using the Dungeon Master Guide. There is a few pages that cover this. Villain goals you'll find in a Dungeon Master Guide. And I've also, Sly Flourish presented this idea, but it's been around a while now. Rory Story Cubes, great for inspiring ideas about the different aspects of your non-player character, whether that be their name, their appearance, their personality, and their motivation. Motivation can also include secrets, okay? It's not everybody's motivation is a secret, though. Right. Create different encounters. And I would say about 6. 5 or 6 is probably about right. Now, don't bother with random encounters necessarily, but do make small wandering monster tables if it makes sense. If you need your monsters to maneuver around so they're not all just locked in place, a wandering monster table that's made specifically for your adventure that makes sense that they would be wandering around. Don't make them too big. Have between 3 and 6 options only. It is not a great huge table of 20 or 100. You're not doing a random encounter table. What you're doing is you're trying to breathe life into your environment so that the players understand that if they rest here, something might find them. That's what the wandering monster table is for, and it's supposed to be small. And also, too, it indicates that it's dynamic, that there's always something going on. Focus your encounters on the following things. Your combat encounters that are key for your adventure. Your social interactions, who they could potentially talk to. Your exploration, okay, what sort of environments they're exploring. So focus on that sort of stuff, what they can find, what they can manipulate. Traps that they'll have to find and disable or avoid or even destroy. Puzzles to solve. Skill challenges or adventure challenges. It might simply just be a scene. I'm going to refer you back to things like the Game Mastery Book of Random Encounters for this. It's an excellent tool, okay? Lots of different areas. You can block it together like Lego. Wally DM's Journal of Puzzle Encounters, great if you're dealing with puzzles. You've got hard, you've got easy ones in there. The Game Mastery Guide for Pathfinder First Edition has a range of tools in there that are really useful. The only thing you'll find that's kind of partly useful in the Dungeon Master Guide is a handful of traps for D&D 5e. I would suggest you're better off to go and look at older versions of the Dungeon Master Guide for D&D if you're looking there, because they have better resources than the current 5th edition book. Also, too, you'll find a lot of game systems have this built in. They have a pretty good run over of this sort of stuff. And of course, there are resources on the internet that you can also use. Set a reward for completing the adventure, or at least doing something in the adventure. That might be the character having some sort of advancement, finding magic items, political power, treasure, money, non-player character relationships that they actually find beneficial or interesting. Those are the sorts of things you're looking at. Okay, that's a lot of information. It took me a long time to get there. Here is my breakdown. I've decided to make this super simple. Adventure location format. What I want to do is describe this as if you are trying to put together an adventure and you pick up a pre-made adventure, one of the things you'll discover is there is box text, the stuff you're supposed to describe to your players, and then you'll have a whole lot of information underneath. And it's usually in a great huge wall of text. And so what happens when you pick up a pre-made adventure is you have to go through there and you have to bullet point each location and the information and pull it out of the paragraphs so that you can see it quickly and easily. So skip past that problem right now. When you put together a room or a location, number it, put some sort of label on it, give it a name, okay, and then break it down and just bullet point. So your You don't have to put in a box. You don't have to have box text as such, but description of only what the player characters can see, hear, and smell, and broad brushstrokes. Okay? Don't try to write a novel or a story. That's not for you to do. The players do that, not you. Okay? You don't need to do that sort of thing. They'll switch off. So bullet point this stuff. The creature. You can even bold it if you like. What is the monster or creature? What is the monster doing or the creature doing? How does that monster respond to the player characters when they show up? That's the information that you need there. And of course, you need a reference to where do you go for your stat block if they wind up fighting it, of course. But bullet point. Next, your trap. I would suggest to you, what is it trying to trap? Did you put the trap on the thing that makes sense? Is the trap on the door or the trap on the chest protecting the valuables? Decide where the trap is most suitable. Okay? What type of trap is it? Is it a mechanical trap or a magic trap? What is the trap trigger? And what is the effect of triggering or that trap in some way? If you trigger the trap, what will happen? So that's what you want to have. And bullet point that. Put that. When I look at the word trap, it should have all the information in one place that I need. Puzzles. Okay, lock and key puzzle, whatever it might be, bullet point, brief notes, how that works. Okay, or at least a page reference to where I go to find the rest of the information. Your non-player character information can be broken down into 3 sentences, essentially. Your name and appearance, the name and appearance of the NPC, the personality traits so you know how to roleplay the NPC, the motivation or secrets revolving around the NPC. And really that's about all you need. You don't have to have much more than that. That's fine. Okay, certainly as a starting point. But bullet point and make sure all that information is in the one place. One of the things that pre-made adventures tend to do is they scatter NPC information all over the place. You've got to look here, there. You don't know where it is. Okay, and so make it easy for yourself. Bullet point, put it all in one place. Treasure. Okay, whether that be magic items, weapons, armor, equipment, mundane items, gold, coins, gems, or junk that they can find. Whatever the player characters can find, put that in one place, mark it as treasure. Bullet point it. Make it easy for yourself. This is why a lot of pre-made adventures are frustrating to run because they're not written like a reference book or a reference document. They're written like a novel. And is probably why a lot of people are watching this right now, actually. Anyway, miscellaneous recommendations. Don't spend all your time on developing one concept for your adventure. Don't get stuck on one area. Move on. If you get stuck, move on, come back to it later. Okay? Stop sweating the creative ideas in your adventure. You honestly don't know what your players, what people will like when you're running it. The only way to know whether people like something is to run it and test it. And if it doesn't work out, then you won't do it again or you'll change it. Okay? It's as simple as that. There is no secret. I can put it in a litmus test and decide that that's the way to do it. No. Trial and error. Trial by fire is the only way to figure out if an adventure will work. And not all adventures work for all groups. That's another thing to consider. So you don't have to just throw it out if you think it didn't work the first time. Anyway, I'm hoping this was useful and interesting to you, and if it was, fantastic. I want to thank you for watching and listening. I want to thank everybody who is my patron, who supports me so I can keep running this program and developing new tools and resources for you, and hopefully they are useful to you. And I really want to thank you for taking the time, because half an hour to sit down and listen to me talk about how to do this is a long time. Anyway, wherever you are in the world, okay, look after yourself, and till next time, keep rolling those 20s. Dun dun dun, and I'm back. Hello, how are you, everybody? I am just doing some YouTube live stream magic in the background right now, so you can't see what I'm doing, but I have prepared a document which I would like to show you, and we're going to get started pretty shortly. But before I do that, I would like to first throw out an idea. Now, I thought today was a good opportunity to continue making a list of adventure hooks or quests that you could use that are very much tailored to a specific thing. Okay. So I want, what I would like to do, thank you, Pierre Schumann. Pierre Schum. Hello, Pierre Schum. How are you? Thanks for that. Let me just go here. What are some protection quests you could use? And some different protection quests you could use. Now, tag name. Let's tag name it and describe. Describe. Okay, so I want to go through the chat, but I also want to share this with you. But before I do that, let's just get that going. So, Jasper, I make a grog from the tears of my players. Do you? This sounds quite ghastly. Hi, Jasper. How are you doing? I have the cup labeled Tears of My Players. One with because I am the DM. That's why. Okay. So I'm not here to deal with player style. Whatever your player style is your player style. I'm only here to try to provide you with tools and ideas. And the community is pretty good at doing this, I've discovered. So we're going to keep going that way. Hello, Derp. Now, Derp is also a patron. So is Jasper, actually, and Fred Huber. I like the combination of types. Often variety is best. Yes, absolutely, Derp. I do agree. And you're referring to combining linear, sandbox, and point crawl, correct? I do a combo so you do a combo as well, okay, with sandbox as sort of this. Okay, I get it. Yep, absolutely. Yeah, don't. So for those of you, it is unhealthy to lick this and lick the like button. By all means, smash the like button or press the like button, but do not lick the like button or lick the smash button. That would be bad too. Thank you, Sherman. Pierre Schum. Why am I calling you Sherman? I don't know why I'm calling you Sherman. I find it easier to come up with NPCs if I just project people I know from life into the novel. So project into your adventure, you mean? I mean NPC, not novel. Right, okay, yeah. So project, using people you know can be a really useful tool, surprisingly. Solve the mystery and speak with the dead doesn't work. Okay, all right. Okay, so you guys have already started putting some stuff forward. I am throwing my hat off. Okay, I've been talking for a while. I'm going to put a lozenge into my mouth. I am going to close a few things up here, things that you're not supposed to see. But the thing that you are supposed to see, I'm going to go through with you pretty shortly, like right about now. Okay? And this is what I kind of threw together, and it's not very good, in my opinion. It needs a little work. So we're going to do a little bit of work on it, but we also want to take your ideas. So this is what I started. I thought 20 was enough. I know what's going to happen. You guys are going to come up with a lot more than just 20. And that's fine. I have no problems with that. But let's work through this very quickly and then go to the chat and start taking down your ideas before I get lost and can't keep up, which often seems to happen. The good thing about today is we do not need to worry about lag because I will get to your stuff eventually. That's the good thing. And we've got plenty of time. Okay, so I think we'll be fine. Okay. So I talked about protection quests before, gave some examples. This is what we've got here. Now, the problem with protection quests is they will tend to look a lot like some of the other quests types, like the delivery quest and the fetch quest or the attainment quest. They can look very similar because sometimes they are. But protection is always about protection. So royal escort. Escort the princess safely. Come on. It's all about being safely to the neighbouring kingdom for a peace treaty signing. Okay, so that's our royal escort. Safe passage. Guide a group of refugees through a war-torn region. Guide a group of refugees through a war-torn region without being harmed. I don't know how many times I can say safe, but we'll see how we get there. We'll get there. Okay, keep going. Merchant's journey. Protect. The word protect is already in there, so we don't have to worry about it. Protect a merchant caravan on their trade route through dangerous territories. How many times has this come up in your adventures? Probably a lot. Okay, you've probably heard about this one a lot. Nothing new about it at all. Bodyguard. Guard a famous... And the Bodyguard, they've literally taken the synopsis and the story from the Bodyguard movie. Oh dear. Okay. Guard a famous individual. Okay. Individual and in their home and while on tour. Okay, bodyguard. Scholar's protection. Scholar's protection. Escort a renowned scholar to a distant university safely. Diplomat. Diplomatic mission. This is very similar, I think, to the royal escort. Is it different enough? Ensure the safe arrival of a diplomat to a peace conference. So yes, that's probably about right. That's all right. That's protection. Rescue operation. Extract a captured ally from an enemy stronghold and bring them to safety. Okay, so that's pretty simple. That's protection again. Village defense. Now the village defense, for those of you who haven't figured it out, is the Seven Samurai or the Magnificent Seven. Defend a village from an impending raid until reinforcements arrive. Well, we could do that, but it could go any way. It doesn't necessarily have to be that. Defend a village from an impending... Let's get rid of that. From... bandit raids. There we go. Let's keep it simple. Hire's journey. Now this might be very similar to the royal escort. Hire's journey. Escort the young Aya to their rightful throne through hostile territory. Yeah, I suppose that's something. That's not the peace treaty. Royal escort. It doesn't feel like it's, yeah. It feels very similar. Hires, yeah, right. This is sort of like, what's the example? This is the Three Musketeers. Oh, the Man in the Iron Mask. This is the Man in the Iron Mask. Now, it took me a little while to cotton on. Okay, Holy Pilgrim. Protect a group of pilgrims on their sacred journey. Okay, so we've got that one. So this would be, I mean, whether it's a holy pilgrimage or it's any kind of pilgrimage, it doesn't really matter. But protect a group of pilgrims on their sacred journey or to a new home. Okay, so that's Battlestar Galactica. That's every Western that had a, a caravan of some kind. Yeah, so Holy Pilgrimage is very similar to the refugee one. I think it's very, very similar in many respects. Okay, next. So actually, maybe we'll just leave that out because I know when I think about it, the safe passage is kind of like it is like Battlestar Galactica and the old Western caravan, isn't it? Next, escape route. Help a defecting spy escape the enemy country and reach friendly territory. So, okay, there we go. I think we just call it spy escape. And that's cool. Next, art exhibition. Safeguard an artist and their priceless. An artist or their priceless works during a tour of exhibitions. Yep. Okay, that's fine. I think that's got that nailed down. Protect. Yep. Safeguard is protect. Okay. Rescue slaves. Free enslaved people from a labor camp and escort them to freedom. So this would be Moses, really, the story of Moses. Medics mission. Escort a team of medics safely to a disaster struck area. Okay. Safely. Uh-oh. Did it again. Here we go. Sage's last journey. I don't know that I need to put that in there. Let's just put here Sage journey. An elderly sage on their journey to a distant final journey. Final journey. So they got pilgrimage journey. Their final. A distant shrine, I suppose we could go there. An elderly sage. So let's go here with Sage's journey. Yeah, that's fine. That'll do. That covers it. That's all right. Lost caravan. Locate and protect a lost caravan of traders until they reach their destination. This is too similar to the caravan journey one, merchant's journey. So I must have missed that. I'm pretty sure okay. So that makes it down to, yeah, okay. I needed to have a few extras, didn't I? Witness protection. Safeguard a key witness until they testify in a high-profile trial. That's protection, which is The Witness with Harrison Ford. Next, noble's flight. I don't know about this noble's flight. Escort a disgraced noble fleeing from political retribution to a safe haven. Again, this is way too similar to the other two that we've got there, so I'm just going to ditch it. It doesn't need to be there. Artifact protection. Protect archaeologists transporting a rare artifact to... so this is... We're not really... who gives a toss about the art... protect archaeologists. Protect archaeologists transporting a rare artifact to a secure museum. So this is fine. I think what we do need to do, sort of make sure this is saying is that, I don't think I've put it down right, is that it needs to be protecting the archaeologists and the artifact. And to protect archaeologists and a rare we do this and a rare artifact to a secure artifact having transported to a secure museum. Rebels return. Escort a former rebel leader to peace talks with the ruling government. It's all right. It's not the greatest, if you ask me. I am tempted to feel like this is like the royal escort or the peace treaty. Let's call this treaty escort. I think that's more like what we're dealing with here. But with the diplomat is also very similar. Peace conference, treaty. Yeah, so they're so similar in nature. We will just highlight these a little bit so that I remember that they probably don't need to be there. We're kind of repeating ourselves a little bit. Environmental protection. Save the world from exotic pollution. Sorry, people. Toxic pollution. That's protection. It's a protection thing, but okay. This here kind of feels very repetitive, so I'm going to mark it as well. That means there now is plenty of space for everybody else's ideas. I've done my bit. Okay? I've done my bit. And I'm going to tell you now, anything that I've marked in yellow is probably going to get deleted. That's just how I see things. Anyway, don't want to repeat myself too many times. For those of you who haven't figured it out, I do a lot of this by just recounting a movie that I've watched quite often. Okay, next. Every day is an opportunity. Every day is an opportunity. Guard a valuable resource center. Okay, so that's very, very simple, very basic. We haven't really got it there. I don't know what your tag name would be, but I got the gist of it. Guard a valuable resource center. Business or building. I think we're going to add in that, okay? Just a little bit more. I kind of get the idea of what you're trying to do there. Pierre Schumann. Defenders. Protect the Baron's castle. Yes, defenders. Absolutely. I think I'm going to call that siege defenders. Tears in the rain. Is it Sun? Tears of the Sun? Pierre Schumann? Is it Tears of the Sun with Bruce Willis and what's her name? I can't remember. It eludes me. Okay, I think that's here. Tool time with Fred. Yes, that's right. It is tool time with Fred. Okay. Siege defenders. I like that idea. Protect the Baron's castle from assault from an army's assault. Good. Like it. It's a very obvious one. But I had missed it. Okay, let's keep going. Jasper. George requests help in protecting a grove from industrialization. Okay, yep. Save the trees. That's this here. Request help in protecting armies. Okay, this is it. Okay, got that. Next, Okay. Secrets. Resource center, like a mine, water source, trade route. Well, I can put down mine. Water source, that's quite often common, isn't it? Okay, so we've got that idea mostly nailed down. Peshium. You like the Droid idea? Well, I've marked it down already. It's done. We're good. All right, Fred Huber has got a bunch of ideas here. I can see I'm actually catching up, which I love the fact that that's happening. Absurd adventurer. Prevent the suicidal, overconfident wannabe dragon slayer from dying. Oh God. You've brought this up before, Fred Huber, and every time I don't put it down. So this time I'm putting it down, just because if I don't, you're just going to keep bringing it up. I know, I know you. Prevent the suicidally overconfident wannabe dragon slayer from dying. Okay, all right, it's in. Are you happy? So Garyon of Rivera. Hello, how are you? Shy X, hello, how's it going? Okay, escort a wizard while they are out collecting spell components. Yes, that's not a bad idea. Jasper, let's put that in. I don't know what I would call it as a tag name, but there's something there now that wasn't there before. No idea what it'll be, but yeah. Anyway. Bum bum bum. Let's keep going. Defend cultists. Are you kidding me? Defend the cultists while they complete their ritual. Oh, we're going dark. All right, Derp. You've made a good effort to make sure that I don't have to edit or add anything or adjust anything. It's down. It's in. You can be guaranteed. Now your players have turned to the dark side. Well done. I like how that one could be the cultists as the unknown good guys, or they serve Cthulhu or something. Yeah. Return high-level spell scrolls to the library. There's enough scrolls that a few missing won't fail the job, but a lot. Okay, so I think what you've done here, your first sentence is all we need. Shy X. So let's just take the first one. Protect the maiden's honor. Jeez. All right, let's just drop this in here. I don't know how this is going to be structured exactly, but let's do that. Return high-level scrolls to the ancient magical library. Basically, that's what we're dealing with. I don't know what you would call that, but yeah. Keep going. Bouncer, protect the door, only let the right people in. Yeah, sure. Yeah. Our players are now bouncers for a nightclub. Yeah, don't let the riffraff in. Nice. Okay. East Yorkshire, England. My gosh. It's bank holiday weekend here and chilling out with my channel. Well, welcome. You're welcome to chill out with me. I'm going to show people what I've been typing up from the chat in a second, but protect the maiden's honor. I don't know what that would be. You're referring to something. Oh, that's the quest. But what would the quest be called? I was looking at it and it didn't click, Fred, and I finally realized what you were trying to communicate. I'm a bit slow sometimes. That That will happen when you're in the middle of a live stream trying to funnel everything into one place. Okay. You didn't miss very much. You're not a fan of white knighting? Well, you don't have to be a fan of white knighting, but somebody is. Okay? It's not like everything here has to be something that you want to use. It's just there. Like I said, just tools. Okay? I just thought of an awesome idea, the plot of Death Wish. I don't even remember the plot to Death Wish. Is there a plot to Death Wish? I don't honestly think there is. I was thinking of Lancelot assigning to protect the Queen's honour. And here's... Okay, I think you're right. Lancelot... It is the Lancelot syndrome, isn't it? Paste. Lancelot call. I'll call it the Lancelot call. How's that? We've got a name for it now. Guards and wards. All right, so now let me just... So I have caught up with you, which is amazing. But now let me show you what I have chucked in here, and we'll go from there. Bum, bum, bum. Okay. How are we doing? We're doing all right. Do you have trouble writing an adventure that is practical to run? So when I put the poll together, I think a few people got confused around the poll. Just to make it clear to you what that means to me. I don't know what it means to you, but let me explain what it means to me. When I said, do you have trouble writing an adventure that is practical to run, I didn't mean that it was practical for the player characters to succeed in completing the adventure. That's not what I meant. What I meant was, as a dungeon master, as a game master, whatever you have written down or prepared, whether you've written it down or just created it in your head, is it practical for you to achieve this yourself and run it as a game master? You don't have to take on board everything the player characters are doing. You only have to really deal with what you have to manage at your end. If the players can't do their job at their end, that's not your problem, okay? That's their problem. There are a bunch of them there, between 3, 4, 5 or more of them sitting there. So you just need to deal with whatever I've created for my adventure. Is it practical for me to actually run this? Do I have what I need to make it work? Does that make sense? Or are there things that I can just homebrew or do on the fly, in game? Or do I need to do more preparation? Am I preparing and making the things that I need? Is it practical? Have I made my adventure too complicated that it will be impossible, it will be impractical for me to run it? That's what I mean. Does that make sense? I think that will change the voting on that one a little bit now. Okay. I can see there's a bunch of name of the rose. Okay, so I can see a bunch of ideas coming out, which is great. I'm going to share the document that I've been working on with you and let you continue throwing out ideas, and we'll see what sticks. So here we go. This is what we have. We said 20. We've got more than 20. We've got a few that are repeats. The ones that are highlighted in yellow, we're going to ditch. The treaty escort, I'm not fond of the treaty escort being tied to it must be a princess. Escort royalty, or something else. I feel like that this here word, I want to get rid of this word. I don't mind the idea of the treaty escort. What I probably don't like is it has to be a princess or a prince. This is the word that I think needs to go. Anyway, we'll keep going. Next, we have the safe passage, guide a group of refugees through a war-torn region without being harmed. We have the merchant's journey, protect a merchant caravan on their trade route through dangerous territories. The bodyguard, guard a famous individual in their home and while on tour. Scholar's protection, escort a renowned scholar to a distant university safely. Diplomatic mission, ensure the safe arrival of the diplomat to a peace conference. It feels very, very similar. I don't know that peace conference. or treaty signing. That's what I'm going to do. And then we can just ditch this one completely. It would be unnecessary. Good. Bye-bye. Next, am I on track? Yes, I am on track. Rescue operation. Extract a captured ally from an enemy stronghold and bring them to safety. Village defense. Defend a village from bandit raids. From bandit or bandit monster or army raids. There we go. We've broadened it out a little bit. The Hire's journey. Escort the young Hire to their rightful throne through hostile territory. I don't know about that one. I think we've got something that's kind of in that vein, but not exactly. It probably actually makes more sense now. We can probably keep it more than it was before. Before it was like, do we really need it? I feel like now it has a place. We can actually probably do that one. We'll keep that one. That's fine. Next, Holy Pilgrimage. Protect a group of pilgrims on their sacred journey. Yep. Spy escape. Help a defecting spy escape the enemy country. And reach reach friendly territory. Is it a spy amongst us? I think that's that one. I can't remember. It's the one with Tom Hanks. That's what I was thinking. Anyway, next. Or was it something else? No, there's a bunch of them. There's so many. Anyway, art exhibition. Safeguard an artist or their priceless works during a tour of exhibitions. Okay, that's fine. Rescue slaves. My favourite thing is having slavery. Free enslaved people from a labour camp and escort them to freedom. Moses. Medics mission. Escort a team of medics safely to a disaster-struck area safely. So next one. Sage's last journey. Protect an elderly sage on their final journey to a distant shrine. Witness protection. Safeguard a key witness until they can testify in their high-profile trial. So these ones we've kind of gone through. The art protection, the artifact protection thing, the rebels return, the environmental protection, and then your ideas are here. Okay, I have included those. So we've got a few there, and I'm sure we'll get more. But I need to take a break. It's top of the hour. Otherwise, I have the call of the wild. It says, Fred, it is time to take a break. So I'm going to let you keep thinking about this. I'm going to come back, drop in your ideas. So keep firing away, and I'll keep translating as much as I can. Remember, protection quest. That's what we're trying to aim for. Okay, so I'm going to drop in again what we're trying to do here, and you're going to give me 5 minutes or less, and I'll be back. Yes, that's right. I was thinking Captain Planet. For those of you who are wondering when I put that in. Yes, I was thinking Captain Planet. Anyway, back in a second. Arnold will look after you. I'll be back shortly. Bom, bom, bom. All right. Let's see how we're doing here. Oh, I think it might be the wrong screen. I think I'm on the wrong screen. I am. So we're creating 20 adventure protection quests, and we've done more than 20. We've got plenty now. And we're trying not to have too many repeats. Okay, I've taken a bunch of ideas. I've included a lot of your ideas. I'm going to include some more in a second. Stew it all together and kind of make it into something useful. For those of you who are wondering what the heck is going on, that's what's currently going on. We are doing that today. Okay, for those of you who are like, why aren't we making an adventure today? The reason being is we make an adventure every single week, and we did that yesterday. And even though this is called, creating, writing an adventure, and it's about adventure creation and writing and design and so forth, we're just doing one aspect of it today, okay? Because I would like to, at some point, have there be a chart for every type of adventure quest you could think of. So you could just go through those types of adventure quests and just decide which one you kind of would like to use. That's really my intention behind this, if you're wondering. So we'll come back to that, but also too, I realized with adventure design, particularly in a live stream and the format that we've been using, is I need to help focus the live stream on the adventure creation. I have a new strategy for next week. For those of you who are wondering what the heck that means, I have a completely new strategy that will hopefully help make that work a bit better. Anyway, let's take your ideas, because you've got a bunch of them. Death Wish plot. Insane architect taking vengeance versus all crooks. Vigilante justice at the point of a large bore projectile. That's not really protection. That's just, I don't think that's a protection thing. What was the movie with Matthew Brooke and Sean Connery? They were monks. I don't know what we're talking about. Name of the Rose. Okay. Family Business? Possibly. Again, I'm not too sure. Family Business didn't have monks, but the plot would work too. Okay, all right. So I think we'll leave the Death Wish idea alone. Indiana Jones and Last Crusade plot. You guys are just going to say, it's the Indiana Jones and... Okay. So, really, what you're talking about is protecting an artifact. We've kind of got one already like that. I'm sure we do have one that's kind of around that. It may not be exactly the same, but it's close enough. What did we call it, though? No. Scholars, no. I'm sure we've got one that is around artifact. Yeah, artifact protection. We've got an artifact protection one. We've got that. It's already there. Batman with guns and no utility belt. Okay. Indiana Jones has a lot of artifact protection and transportation going on, for sure. Yes, like you've got Raiders of the Lost Ark, haven't you? A bottom shelf dark Batman. Okay, all right. Ring Bearer. Protect the artifact of doom, preventing it from being used. Okay, that's fair enough. I'll put it in. You're funny people. Maybe we're finished. Maybe that's it. I like it when we present something to you, and I don't get inundated with 100 different ideas. Protect the artifact of doom, preventing it from being used. Which is, I think we got to do. Is it Ring Bearer? I think it's Doom Bearer. Doom Bearer. I feel like that's more Doom Bearer. Here we go. Protect the artifact of destruction. Preventing it from being used. Okay. So, okay, we got that. Nice. Grave Defender. Really? Jasper, you're getting dark here. Ooh. I didn't think that was like you. Anyway, let's see. Let's take Grave Defender and plonk that in. Paste. Here we go. Is this going to work? A necromancer has been hiring grave robbers to collect the recently deceased, and the mayor's beautiful daughter is on her deathbed from seemingly being poisoned. I don't know what that leads to. I am very confused. I don't know how does this come out as a protection quest, Jasper? I don't see it. Protecting the NPC from zombies. Location, house. Oh, okay, all right. I see what you're trying to do here, people. We're trying to get the... I said movies, and you guys have started throwing movies at me. should have known that was going to work well for me. Now it's about, can Fred remember the movie, right? Yeah, I get it. Protect ship from Kraken and 2 other pirate ships. Why is that so specific? Shy X, why is it so specific? I don't quite get that. I think what you're trying to go with is siege, protect tower or castle from attack. We've already got that. We've got one like that already for sure. I think what you're trying to go with the protect the ship from a Kraken and 2 other pirate ships. I'm getting rid of the 2 other pirate ships. It's basically, you've given me, what is it? Captain Jack Sparrow and the pirate movies. I can't remember off the top of my head right now. Protect genes, protect the last egg or last breeding pair. Really? Okay. Okay, Dirk. We'll take that. I mean, the egg protection idea is not a bad idea. I just, yeah. Let's see if we can just plonk that in. I think we're going to call this protect species. Oh dear. But the omelette makes the eggs make a yummy omelette. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Next, the movie where Johnny Depp was a book dealer and opened the gate to hell. I don't remember watching it though, so I don't know what that is. Protect her from being killed by secret necromancer or protect her body when she eventually dies. Completely lost. Is that Warlock or... I don't even remember that. Is there a plot to the movie Warlock? Is that what we're talking about here? Move tools in my toolbox of death. Thanks, Fred. No, more tools in my toolbox of death. Yeah. Okay, all right, nice to know. Oh, Pirates of the Caribbean. Thank you, Shy X. I appreciate that. Greenpeace, protect a group of endangered wolves. I think we've kind of done that. We've got one like that. We can mark it as Greenpeace, but I think we can just put it down as protect species. We'll just call it protect species. The plot for Lady Hawk. Oh. With Matthew Broderick. I'm just trying to think. That's really hard. The plot of Lady Hawk is hard to turn into a concept because it's kind of weird. Fred is sharing. That's right. Fred is sharing. Okay, so that's fine. Okay, that's the signal for Fred needs to share again. I will share my screen and the Google document I'm working on because I have been working on it as I go. So Let's prompt you again, and let's go back to where I was. Where was I? Where was I? It was over here. And there we go. Okay, so this is, I've been jotting down your stuff. I've been putting in ideas, protect a ship from sea monsters and pirate ships. I don't know what you would call that as a concept, essentially, but that's what we've got so far. Protect. So protect an individual. From zombies, from zombie hordes, and you want a location, so let's do the location in a house. I was watching Zombieland actually last night with a reaction to Zombieland. I don't know that I particularly like the idea of Zombieland. Cathedral, castle, house, cathedral, or castle. I guess we call this undead. Undead horde, undead army, undead disaster, undead, I don't know, something. It's a apocalypse. That's not how you spell it, Fred. Oh, did I get it right? Oh, shizes. Well, okay. I don't know what to do with this. I still haven't figured out what's going on there. But we got the protect species thing. The ship one I haven't got a name for. Let's keep going. Doom Bearer. We've got the artifact of destruction that you have to prevent being used. Lancelot's call. Protect the maiden's honor. And personal safety. Here we go. We're that in. Bouncer, protect the door. Protect the door. Why are we protecting the door? Only let the right people in. So, protect the business. Nightclub. It's really, we're dealing with a nightclub here, aren't we? Nightclub. Only the right people in. We have the return high level return high level scrolls nightclub. Here we go. Close to an ancient magical library. I don't know what I would call that as a tag name. I'm a little unsure, but my brain is ticking along here slowly. It's going bup, 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 bup. And I don't know. Yeah, not sure. Defend cultists. Defend the cultists while they are completing their ritual, which is quite funny. Next. Escort a wizard while... okay. Escort a wizard safely while they are collecting magical components. I don't know what that would be called either, but the idea is there. Absurd adventurer, prevent the suicidal, overconfident wannabe dragon slayer, wannabe monster slayer. Let's put just monster. It doesn't have to be dragon. Monster slayer from dying. Safe trees. Save trees. I think it's supposed to be save trees, not safe trees. Okay, save trees. Druids request help in protecting a grove from industrialization. Next, siege defenders protect the barons castle. Let's just put the barons or barons Let's just put lords or kings. Protect the lords or kings. I know. The nobles castle from an army's assault. There we go. Nobles. There we go. Cool. Guard a valuable resource center, business, mine, water source, or building. I don't know what we're going to tag that with, other than I guess you're a building guard. No, it's not that. It's something else. It's not building guard. It's something else, isn't it? It's I don't know. I feel like I was close, but then it just slipped way past me. And these other ones, these are already done. So these are okay. All right. So we've done pretty well. Let's see if you guys have come up with some more ideas while I've been poking around in here, trying to fathom what to do with this stuff. Bum bum bum. Okay, so pet. Oh God, the first thing that popped out was pet cemetery, and I don't know what that means. You're going to have to give me a little bit more. Remember, I'm not necessarily going to remember these movies. I watched Pet Cemetery, but I don't remember Pet Cemetery. Oh, now I understand, Jasper. Thank you. I appreciate that. Okay. Lithium lovers. Protect the environment from strip miners of a toxic, valuable material. What? Fred. Yeah. We have that mostly covered. I feel like we have that mostly covered. Okay. Hello, Kevin Scott 76. How are you? Just got on. We're playing Dragonwood. Are you? Wow. I don't know much about Dragonwood, if anything, actually. And I know I'm playing. What am I playing? Not the end of the week, but next week. Next week, I'm playing basic Bet Me D&D. Kilbargle Castle Misdemeanor with AJ Pickett and Wally DM and Mr. Welsh. I'm pretty sure that's a go for next week. 2 weeks to go. 2 weeks to go. Off topic. But I've always wanted to run a game like the movie Clue. I don't think I could pull it off. I think that would be very difficult. You're burning me out? No. I'm all good. I'm fine. Yeah, not burning me out. Sometimes I can't keep a track of what I'm supposed to do with stuff. Now I understand more about what you're trying to do, Jasper. I can probably, yeah. Oh, Librarian's Repo. I actually, Librarian's Repo is not a bad way to structure. Yeah, let's do that. Librarian's Repo is not bad at all. Let's take that as a tag for the scrolls one, which I feel like the scrolls needs to be a bit more expanded. Do you know what I mean? I don't think we need to be quite so heavy on it can only be this. So let's do a little bit of adjustment to this one. Librarian's Repo. Return high-level spell scrolls or books to the ancient magical library. There we go. All right. It doesn't have to be a magical library. It doesn't really need to be a magical. Let's just put the library to the ancient library. Dun dun dun. Okay, so we got Librarian's Repo. Return. Again, let's include the word safely. Otherwise, they might return charred, which would be bad. Okay, so no charring on the way. Johnny Depp played where he was a rare book dealer. I don't remember. 7th Gate, 9th Gate, The 8th gate, the 12th gate. Grave Defender. Okay, I think I understand what to do with Grave Defender now. Grave Defender. A necromancer has been. I'm gonna just chop this down a little bit. A necromancer has been stealing corpses from a cemetery. Stop them. Okay. Really, I think that's the gist of what you were trying to do. Okay, hang on, stop. A necromancer from stealing corpses from a cemetery. I think that's as short, as sweet as I can get to get across what you were trying to say, Jasper. Which is, it reads a lot better. It's a lot easier to understand what's going on now. Cemetery. Okay, all right. So I got your Grave Defender. I got it sussed. It's in. It is in. Sweet. Got it. Nice. Right. What else was there here? There's a few things I need to look through. Droid protection. The droid has crucial information stored in its memory core. It needs protecting on its journey to deliver the information. Okay. All right. Well, we know where that one came from. Yep. Star Wars and Force Awakens. So let's get real. That's the two stories are there. You're just late healers. Okay, all right. Let me just take this idea. You know how I'm a sucker for Star Wars, so let me put it in. Droid protection. I'll just protect droid. Let's just do that. A droid. A droid has crucial information stored in its memory core. It needs protection on its journey to deliver the information. And there we go. That is a protection. That is a protection quest for sure. Absolutely. Very, very, very true. And I was saying that Star Wars was all about killing and destruction. Killing and destroying. Destroy and kill quests of Star Wars. But protection as well. You've made your point. I think that was part of what was going on there. Next. The plot to Repo Man the Opera. I don't know. You've lost me again. Necromancer's Creed. Yes. Johnny Mnemonic. I think that's the plot to A New Hope, Star Wars, and Force Awakens, which is basically just ripped off from A New Hope. You can have your brother back now. I don't know what that means. Kaiju protect the city. A huge monster is coming, and it will destroy the city if you don't stop it first. There we go. Yes, absolutely. Okay, now I can understand that. I can decipher that one. Godzilla versus anything. Who loses? So, yeah, okay. So we're going to call this let's call it giant monsters. A huge monster is coming coming to destroy the city town or village if you don't stop it first. So really, there we go. I got it. It's down. It's in. You made it happen. Who loses Tokyo? Hello, Overboard. How are you going, Joe? Joe is a moderator. Thanks for being here. Clash of the Titans, Dirk. Well, it is. I guess we could call it Giant Monsters, Titan Assault. Yeah. Yeah. It's the Kraken story. And yeah, for sure. Back to the Future. Protect your mum from meeting the wrong guy. That's pretty funny. It's not bad. It's not bad. Nice. You get points. You get points for making me laugh. And clear. Okay. I don't know what you would call it. You can't call it Back to the Future. But yeah, that's entertaining. Protect your parents. From meeting the wrong person. Dear. Predict your parents for a meeting. This is very, very odd. I feel like it would be hard to incorporate this into a group adventure. Really, really difficult, frankly. I think that would be quite difficult to make it work. But I've marked it down. It is funny as. I got to figure out how to restructure it a little bit. Wrong person. And having a bad relationship. This is pretty funny. Dear. Protect yourself from extinction. You are your own grandpa. Now, we haven't actually done the survival thing. Do you know what I mean? We haven't done the survival thing. Like you are being hunted and you need to protect yourself. I talked about it, but we haven't actually done it as such. Groundhog Day, prevent all the disasters scheduled for the day. Oh my God. It's like, okay, all right. So let me just see if I can, let me see if I can just get my head around what we're doing here. But let's go, we've done a lot of protecting everybody else. Let's do something to the players and force them to protect themselves. Because we had one here that was kind of like that. And I can't remember who created it, but it was brilliant in many respects. Okay. Droid, giant to protect appearance. I can't remember where it was. What was it called? Saves trees, siege defenders. Well, siege defenders is one thing. Environmental protection. Let's self-preservation. Let's call it self-preservation. The characters are being hunted by a indestructible monster, robot, or alien. Okay. Okay, self-preservation. Okay, so we had to make sure we had something that was about, let's just take out the characters. So now we have it. It's in there. So we're dealing with a single force. So yes, I think that's... I almost feel like Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid is the self-preservation thing. But that was like an army. It's a little bit different. Anyway, I think that's not too bad. I think we've done a pretty good job today. Anti-shipwreck, prevent the Titanic's iceberg. Okay, all right, okay. All right, I think we've done all right for today. So I will show you the document very quickly. Survival, so for example, protection is survival type, but I'm pretty sure I didn't distinguish protection and survival as being separate. Did I separate them? I don't believe that I did. Protection. I don't believe that I did separate them. I'm pretty sure I had them all pulled together. I didn't separate protection and then them surviving themselves. Did I? I don't remember. I think I bundled them up into about 8 categories. Protection, yeah. Oh, survival, it is. You're right. Survival, I did talk about survival. So it is actually not going to work. So survival is self-preservation is for another day. We'll take that away. We're protecting other things right now. We're not protecting ourselves. Okay, good. Good point. I like that. That makes sense. Almost got myself a little bit lost there, but it's all good. Yeah, 3, survival. 3 is protection, 7 is survival. Yep, no, Terp, you make a good point. You're quite right. Absolutely, I agree. Godzilla meets Bambi. A night of fright is no delight. A protection in a group of... Yeah, we'll deal with survival some of the time. We can deal with that, and we can get crazy in that. Do I have a published adventure? Because I am buying them physical copy. I don't do PDF. No, I don't. Everything is on Patreon. Everything is on Patreon. Okay. There's nothing currently on Drive-Thru RPG. There will be in the future. But yeah, not right now. Okay, there will be in the future, but I can't tell you when. Yeah, so sorry. I'm having to sort of yeah. I won't explain it. It's not worth trying to explain. It's not a live stream. I've got training. I've got first aid training tomorrow, so I will not be here to live stream tomorrow because I'll be in training, so I can't do anything there. So, yeah, sorry about that. We'll go and have I will talk about, not tomorrow, but the day after, I'll talk about artificial intelligence dungeon masters. Okay? I've got some material prepared for that. Do you have trouble writing an adventure that is practical to run? Sometimes, 43%. No. 25% just watching. 18. Yes, 12 out of 16 votes. All good. Cool. Coolios. All right, so I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to go early. Let you do your thing. I'll do my thing. So huge thank you to everybody who's been watching and listening. Thank you for taking part in the poll. I do appreciate it. Thank you to everybody who is a patron who supports me on Patreon. When I finish this document, I'll put it up into Patreon. Just give me a bit of time. I'm still struggling. I need to get to a point where I'm not working full time to be able to get this stuff, at least in first draft, up onto Patreon, and I'm just not there yet, okay? Big, huge thank you, though, to everybody in the chat, in particular. Those of you who've been here chatting away, sharing your ideas for the last hour and a half or more. I really do appreciate it. I hope that because of the topics that I'm presenting, it has done some of the work that you might have wanted to do, or at least created some documentation for yourself, at least get the juices flowing. Okay, so thank you, Overboard Joe. Thank you, Shy X, F Huber, who's a patron. Thank you, Jasper, also a patron. Derp, thank you very much for your feedback, Derp, also a patron. Pearsham, I don't know, is Pearsham still a patron? I can't remember. Geez, I hope I got it. I hope I didn't get that messed up. Thank you, Pearsham, for your suggestions. Also, Kevin Scott, 76. Was there anybody else that I missed here? I'm just looking through here quickly, trying to make sure I've got everybody in. And if I missed anybody, it was not my intention to do so. I was trying to make sure I respond to everybody if I can, and at least appreciate the fact that you got involved. Garion of Rivera, I believe, was also here at one point. So thank you very much. Hopefully you're getting some sleep now, because it must be very, very early where you are. So you all guys, you all did a great job. Thank you very much. Hopefully everybody gets to benefit from this in some way. So wherever you are in the world, whether it be the morning, the afternoon, or the night, please look after yourself, your family, and your friends. Be nice to your neighbours. And hey, till next time, keep rolling those 20s.